Since Bali Maharaj's rebukes were truthful, King Indra did not at all become sorry, just as an elephant beaten by its driver's rod does not become agitated. Praharat kulisham tasma amogham paramardana shayano nyapatat bhumau chinnapaksha ivachalaha. When Indra, the defeater of enemies, released his infallible thunderbolt scepter at Bali Maharaj with a desire to kill him, Bali Maharaj indeed fell to the ground with his airplane like a mountain with its wings cut off. Sakhayam patitam drishtva jambho balishakatsuhrid abhyayat sauhridam sakyur hatasyapi samacharan. When the demon Jambhasura saw that his friend Bali had fallen, he appeared before Indra, the enemy, just to serve Bali Maharaj with his friendly behavior. Sasimhavaha asadya gadam udyamya ramhasa jatravata chakram gajam cha sumahabala. The greatly powerful Jambhasura, carried by a lion, approached Indra and forcefully struck him on the shoulder with his club. He also struck Indra's elephant. Gada prahara vyatito brisam valito gaja janubhyam dharani sprishtva kashmalam paramam yayau. Being beaten by Jambhasura's club, Indra's elephant was confused and aggrieved. Thus, it touched its knees to the ground and fell unconscious. Tato rato mata lina haribirtasha satirvrita anito dvipamustrajya ratam aruruhe vibhu. Thereafter, Matali, Indra's chariot driver, brought Indra's chariot, which was drawn by 1,000 horses. Indra then left his elephant and got onto the chariot. Tasya tat pujayam karma yantur dhanava sattamaha Sulena jvalatatam tu smayamano hanan mride. Appreciating Matali's service, Jambhasura, the best of the demons, smiled. Nonetheless, he struck Matali in the battle with a trident of blazing fire. So Jambhasura is actually attacking Indra's charioteer, Matali. Seherujam sudar Marsham Satvam Alambya Matali Indro Jambasya Sankruddho Vajrena Paharachira. Although the pain was extremely severe, Matali tolerated it with great patience. Indra, however, became extremely angry at Jambhasura. He struck Jambhasura with his thunderbolt and thus severed his head from his body. Jambham shrutva hatam tasya nyatayo naradadrishe namuchischa balapakash tatrapetustvaran vita. When Narada Rishi informed Jambhasura's friends and relatives that Jambhasura had been killed, the three demons named Namuchi, Bala and Paka arrived on the battlefield in great haste. Pacho vippaurushairindram ardayantosya marmashu sharair avakiran megha dharabhir iva parvatam. Rebuking Indra with harsh, cruel words that were piercing to the heart, these demons showered him with arrows, just as torrents of rain wash a great mountain. Harindashatatanyajau haryas yasva balasharai tavadbir artayamasha yugapallagu hastavan. Quickly handling the situation on the battlefield, the demon Bala put all of Indra's 1,000 horses into tribulation by simultaneously piercing them with an equal number of arrows. Shatabhyam matalim pako ratam savayam prita sakrit sandhana mokshena tadadbhutam abhut rane. Paka, another demon, attacked both the chariot with all its paraphernalia and the chariot driver, Matali, by fitting 200 arrows to his bow and releasing all of them simultaneously. This was indeed a wonderful act on the battlefield. नामुचि पंचदशभिः स्वर्णपुङ्कैर्महेशुभिः आहत्य व्यनदत्सङ्ख्ये सतोया इवतो यदा. Then Namuchi, another demon, attacked Indra and injured him with 15 very powerful golden feathered arrows which roared like a cloud full of water. Sarvatas sarakutena Sakram Saratasaratim Chadayamasu Rasura Pravrit Suryam Ivam Buddha. Other items covered Indra, other demons covered Indra along with his chariot and chariot driver with incessant showers of arrows, just as clouds cover the sun in the rainy season. The beautiful description how Indra was actually completely covered with an incessant shower of arrows, just as the clouds cover the sun in the rainy season. When the clouds cover the sun, we will not be able to see the sun. So therefore, when Indra was completely covered by showers of arrows from the Asuras, he could not be seen at all. Alakshayanta stamativa vihvala vichukrushurdeva gana sahanuga Anayaka Shatrubalena Nirchita Vanikpata Bhinna Navo Yatharnave. The demigods, being severely oppressed by their enemies. Again, now the demons are becoming a little strong and being unable to see Indra on the battlefield because Indra is covered completely with the arrows released by the Asuras. They were very, very anxious. The demigods became very, very anxious. Because the captain is not there, the leader is not there to lead. He was the commander-in-chief, Indra. Hare Krishna. Yeah, let us continue. So the demigods, being severely oppressed by their enemies and being unable to see Indra on the battlefield, they were extremely anxious because having no captain or leader, they became lamenting like traders in a wrecked vessel in the midst of the ocean. Tatasturasa Rishubadda Panjarat Vinirgatasashwaratat Tvajagrani Babho Dishakam Pritivim Charochayan Swatejasa Surya Ivakshapatyaye. Thereafter, Indra released himself from the cage of the network of arrows, appearing with his chariot, flag, horses, and chariot driver, and thus pleasing the sky, the earth, and all directions. He shone effulgently like the sun at the end of the night. Indra was bright and beautiful in the vision of everyone. So I think one of the verses has a purport here. There is a comparison here in the previous verse. In the upper planetary systems also, there is a shipping. The demigods being oppressed by their enemies, they became very, very anxious. They became very anxious because they could not see Indra on the battlefield and they did not have anyone who can actually lead them. And they began lamenting like traders in a wrecked vessel in the midst of the ocean. So Prabhupada actually writes here. It appears that even in the upper planetary systems, there is actually trading and shipping, and they also engage in certain occupational duty. So therefore, if you see here, there are calamities even in the upper planetary systems. The whole episode which we are seeing, the battle between demigods and demons, many of the soldiers from both the parties being killed. Such calamities are there even in the upper planetary system. So therefore, we should understand two things from here. As Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, the upper planetary system is the creation of the Lord, is not vacant or devoid of living entities. The upper planetary system has living entities. Generally, many scientists put forth the theory saying that living entities are there only on the earth. So Prabhupada compares this to a frog in the well philosophy. You know what is frog in the well philosophy? Frog in the well means, I will tell a small story. there was a frog, and it was in the well. And what happened is somebody came from the ocean and happened to come to the well. Basically, somebody from the ocean came to the well and they asked the frog. They asked the frog, have you seen Atlantic Ocean? The frog says, no, I have not seen. Is it as big as this well? It said like that. And then it said, is it little bigger? No, 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 it's not like that. It's very big. Is it little bigger than the well? Somebody asked the frog who came from Atlantic Ocean. Then the frog says, is it bigger than this well? Little bigger than this well? All that it could think of is only the well. That's all. Similarly, the scientists, the modern education, everything, they cannot think of anything beyond a certain limit. They actually cannot imagine. They do not have faith in the scriptures. They do not have faith in the Supreme Lord, and do not have faith in the teachings of the scriptures. So therefore, they see whatever I see, I believe. That's all. If I'm not able to see something, it does not exist. That is what they put forth. Now I'm in the ground floor. In the first floor of this building, something is happening. So therefore, if I say that nothing is there on the first floor, I should say that I don't know what is in the first floor, and I should ask someone who is in the first floor what is happening in the first floor, or I do not know what is happening outside the temple. So I should say, what should I say? I should say that I do not know what is happening in the temple, outside the temple, right? So I cannot say that nothing exists outside just because I do not know what is happening outside. So similarly, modern scientists and modern education, which are derived, the teachings of modern education, which are derived from these modern scientific ideas, they say that the modern education says that we do not know about life in other planets. Because you are not able to go, that does not mean that there is no life in the other planets. Right? So we should be very careful in this, in accepting the theories of the modern education, because they are not based on Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. And second thing we should know is, even in the upper planetary systems, there are calamities. There are problems even in the upper planetary systems. Generally, there are some people who want to go to Svargaloka or to the upper planetary systems, as a result of which they perform so many pious activities with the desire to enjoy a better life in the upper planetary systems. But one should know that, as Prabhupada writes here, even in the upper planetary systems, calamities occasionally take place. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartinorjuna mamapetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Which means, even right from the topmost planetary system of Brahmaloka to the lowest planetary system of Patalaloka, there are only miseries. Mamapetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. But one who comes back to my abode, he does not have to take a punarjanma. So therefore, when we are practicing devotional service, our goal should be to go back home, back to Godhead, not to simply enjoy better. See, definitely there is better enjoyment, but there are so many calamities even in the upper planetary systems. Upper planetary systems and the other planetary systems, even the lower planetary system, is full of living entities. And secondly, there is calamities even in the upper and the lower planetary systems. So is it really worth to aim at something which is like this? No. So therefore, one must aim to actually go back home, back to Godhead. Tatasturasadishu baddha panjarat vinirgatasashvara tattvajagrani babhau dishakam prithivim charochayan swate jasa surya ivakshapatyaye. Thereafter, Indra released himself from the cage of the network of arrows, appearing with his chariot, flag, horses, and chariot driver, and thus blazing the sky, the earth, and all directions. He shone effulgently like the sun at the end of night. Indra was bright and beautiful in the vision of everyone. Nirikshya pratanam deva parair abhyarditam rane udayachad ripum hantum vajram vajradharorusha. When Indra, who is known as Vajradhara, the carrier of the thunderbolt, saw his own soldiers so oppressed by the enemies on the battlefield, he became very angry. Thus, he took up his thunderbolt to kill the enemies. Satenaivaštadharena shirashi balapakayo Yatinam pashyatam rajan jahara janayan bhayam. O King Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami continues, King Indra used his thunderbolt to cut off the heads of both Bala and Paka in the presence of all their relatives and followers. In this way, he created a very fearful atmosphere on the battlefield. Namuchishtadvadham drishtva shokamarshirushanvitaha jigamsur indram nripate chakara paramodyamam. O king, when Namuchi, another demon, saw the killing of both Bala and Paka, he was full of grief and lamentation. Thus, he angrily made an attempt to kill Indra. Asmasharam mayam shulam ghantavadhema bhushanam praghryabhyadravad kruddho hatoshiti vitarchayan prahino deva rajaya ninadan mrigaradiva. Being angry and roaring like a lion, the demon Namuchi took up a steel spear which was bound with bells and decorated with ornaments of gold. He loudly cried, "Now you are killed!" Thus coming before Indra to kill him, Namuchi released his weapon. Tadapadat gaganatale mahajavam vichitte harir ishubhi sahasradha tamahanam nripa kushilena kandare rushanvitastri dashapati siroharan. O king, when Indra, king of heaven, saw this very powerful spear falling towards the ground like a blazing meteor, he immediately cut it to pieces with his arrows. Then, being very angry, he struck Namuchi's shoulder with his thunderbolt to cut off Namuchi's head. So, let us stop here today. If there are any questions or you want to share something, you can please share.
And Prabhu, maybe one question, you might already been answered. So
Yes,
demons
Prabhu.
have already seen demigods taking nectar, and
Yes.
why they are still fighting? Prabhu?
Yes. I have to refer to the reason. We should refer to the commentary of Acharyas here. But see, now it is their dharma to fight, Prabhu. It is their dharma to fight, right?
Correct, Prabhu.
Yeah, that could be the reason, probably. But still, we have to refer once. See, when you know that even the person is getting this amritatva, still, it impels from our side to fight. Probably they may know, but still, you know, they are actually, it's actually a result of, see, why this churning came, this churning of milk ocean is only because of a result of a battle, right? The demigods became weak. And then They entered into an agreement basically, but somehow the Supreme Lord tactfully gave them all the nectar. So they were angry. So as a part of their dharma, they did their duty. And one another reason I can think of is because they were led by Bali Maharaj. So I have one request to all the participants here. I request all of you to contact one of us and purchase a Srimad Bhagavatam set. So this is very, very important to have a Srimad Bhagavatam set. Of course, Veda base is there, but again, nothing can replace Srimad Bhagavatam set. So kindly purchase that. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually considered to be a literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. I think it is there in 1.3. So if one actually has Srimad Bhagavatam in one's home, it is equivalent to having the Supreme Lord himself personally, because Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from the Supreme Lord. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nihirsheshaya Lokasya Dhyanam Swasya. Goswami says in Srimad Bhagavatam, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from the Supreme Lord himself. So therefore, I request all of you, those who have been attending, kindly purchase a Srimad Bhagavatam set. We are actually having a special discount on the occasion of Bhadra Purnima. You can contact any one of us. If it is in, I don't know, I think we have posted, Kranti Prabhu has posted the details in our WhatsApp group also. So kindly purchase the Srimad Bhagavatam set and you can start studying from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which you have purchased in that set, in parallel to what we have been discussing. And I am sure the Supreme Lord's mercy will shower abundantly on each one of us if you are going to purchase one. In case you already have, you can sponsor and you can gift, or you can gift it to someone else also. If you do not have, kindly purchase one. If you are in Telangana, we will come to your house and we will install Srimad Bhagavatam also. I think that is the that is one thing which we have now, Prabhu. If it is in and around Hyderabad.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you all very much for your enthusiastic participation. Hare Krishna.